Alright, hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between LabyRinth versus Infi, taking place here on Concealed Hill. Over here on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have, well, LabyRinth spawning as the red Undead player. Went and swapped the colors just so that this lines up. Meanwhile, a hop, skip, and a jump away, we have Infi spawning as the blue human who went random human. And, well, interestingly enough, why is there so many peasants on the gold mine? That makes no sense whatsoever. All right, so extra peasants on the gold mine. It is a barracks first before an altar. This is going to be an unorthodox opening. We'll see what is going to be coming of this. It is Altar of Kings. And just because you see a delayed Altar of Kings from a human player, it doesn't mean that he's necessarily going for a tavern hero. Some other builds do require a little bit more lumber, thereby you go for a lumber mill or a blacksmith early on, and then you can try to go for MK rifleman, something of that nature. But so far, I don't see anything that indicates that we are going to be going for something other than a tavern hero at this point and stage in the game. One thing to note, though, is that the Acolyte now making its way out across the map, if it actually spots that this Altar of Kings is under construction, well, that is going to be a telltale sign that something is amiss. All right, is that footman going to try and stop that Acolyte? No, it isn't. So the timing is going to be incredibly important. Acolyte makes its way off, doesn't even bother scouting that Altar of Kings to know that it isn't your standard hero. Death Knight about to make its presence known as well. Altar of Kings is now out. Let's take a look at this. Footmen are racing around. There is the footman hanging around by that tavern. We'll see what hero will be trained up here. And LabyRinth has to suspect that something is not quite right, because normally human players don't have that many footmen out onto the field already. Timing may feel a little bit strange there. Meanwhile, let's take a look. More footmen now making their way out. Death Knight is out over here as well. And what is the tavern hero going to be? It is going to be, well, a Goblin Tinker. All right, Goblin Tinker hired up from the other tavern. A little bit of a head fake there. And now gonna go for a Goblin Tinker first. In comes the Clockwork Goblins. Clockwork Goblin is actually ensnared. A little bit of unfortunate, unfortunate happenings as footmen are now making their rounds out. LabyRinth perhaps looking for where his opponent possibly is. There is enough footmen to cause problems, and this is actually a strange opening. By going for Tinker first, he's actually able to clear out his opponent's creep camp. He should perhaps be attacking another Clockwork Goblin there. Finishes off now, perhaps making its way back up to the north. Death Knight doesn't have any experience. Used 2 rods of necromancy charge, and perhaps is just scratching his head a little bit going, where did I go wrong? All right, let's take a look back down across over here. Goblin Tinker gonna go ahead and drop down another pocket factory. There you go. Those Clockwork Goblins should be making their rounds out right now, trying to switch aggro. As you see, the Acolyte now, well, is able to spot all of this. Extra damage now being done. The Tinker down to 92 hit points. It is gonna get to, well, 30 hit points. Uses a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. And let's take a look at this. Teleports away with all of those remaining units. All right, a rather risky venture indeed. There is no additional healing available, and at this point and stage in the game, the Tinker has to be extremely careful. We should be looking at a speed building altar. Oh no, a vault. No speed building vault. So that Tinker is going to be very difficult, or have a hard time trying to finish off those remaining units. Meanwhile, the Clockwork Goblin actually almost finishes off that last sea turtle hatchling. And finishes off there. So you now see double claws of attack +6 on this Goblin Tinker. His attacks are rather high now, and we are now having him over here at the Fountain of Health, regenerating some precious hit points. Death Knight finally out onto the field using those Crypt Fiends, and LabyRinth was perhaps trying to counter his opponent's strategy, not knowing that, well, his opponent was going to be doing such an unorthodox strategy, using that what looked like a scouting footman to hire a tavern hero on the other side of the map and then steal the opposing creep camps. By doing exactly that, this Goblin Tinker is going to be much closer to level 3. Now at level 3, this Death Knight is now at level 2, but unbeknownst unbeknownst to him, the other creeps are pretty much already gone. That is going to set him back or perhaps slow down that Lich even further. All right, Goblin Tinker now trying to engage across over here. The Clockwork Goblins are a little bit stronger, dealing a little bit more damage, have a little bit more life, and, well, they should be making their rounds out a bit faster as well. Death Knight off on the other side doing pretty much the same exact thing. As we're going to look at that Goblin Tinker, well, what is it going to do? Pick up a replenishment potion, just what the doctor ordered. It needs mana, and it needs it badly. All right, Forest Troll Trapper will get taken down. Well, Exploding Death getting that last shot there. Meanwhile, low hit point Footman using the Fountain of Health here on Concealed Hill very effectively, as we are now going into a fast tier 3. All right, Infi, well, playing a very unorthodox game already. He has a level 3 Goblin Tinker. Going after these units, he has Footmen with Defend, hence the reason why he can actually try and clear out this creep camp. The Ogre Magi and the Ogre Warrior are trying to take down the Goblin Tinker. Goblin Tinker is regenerating a good amount of hit points just because of this Fountain of Health. They're going to go after these other remaining, all of these piercing damage units before making their rounds. And really, this is going to turn into a game of who is more effectively creeping right now. The Goblin Tinker getting very close to level 4. However, the Goblin Tinker cannot attack air. And right now, the Death Knight must be wondering, what is going on? How is this? What is the creep pattern of this Goblin Tinker? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. All right, Footman now perhaps trying to back up here. Forest Troll Berserker doing a lot of damage. The Goblin Tinker sitting at level 4, pretty much at max health. Meanwhile, Footman with Defend reflecting back a large amount of damage. This Footman perhaps should attack the Goblin Tinker, lose aggro, so that another unit will get it instead. All right. That Red Drake still high on life. Meanwhile, down here, Death Knight sitting at level 3. Is the Lich out onto the field? Yes, he will be momentarily. Halls of the Dead nearing tier 3. Meanwhile, we are going to be going into Dragonhawk Riders. Blacksmith now added for upgrades. Animal War Training being a very, very important upgrade here. As the Footmen wait. Oh, they're going to just get all finished off here. All right, like lambs to the slaughter. A bunch of Footmen getting taken down. Infi not in a good spot there at all, as the Footman perhaps, well, what is it going to do? Is it going to try and sit there with Defend and reflect damage back to the Red Drake? Oh, nope. Red Drake now healing back up once more. All right. Goblin Tinker may try and clear out another difficult creep camp here. The Dragonhawk Rider, if it can, perhaps, well, shackle down to this one unit, that damage could be very, very effective. But the Dragonhawk Rider is going to have a very difficult time. Is it going to try and shackle that? Purposely pulling it away now. And once it pulls it away, it is going to go ahead and shackle and now attempt to shoot it down. However, Crypt Fiends with Web will shut that down rather quickly. Let's take a look at that. More piercing damage coming through. Red Drake will get taken down. It is trying to back up now. There is another shackle. Hit points are regenerating slowly but surely, as the Red Drake now pulls back again. All right, fighting their way, trying to pull back all of those units. Let's take a look. We're going to get another shackle onto that Red Drake. Red Drake is taking a lot of damage once again. Dragonhawk Riders are trying to hold it, as the Dragonhawk Riders will finally finish off that Red Drake there. Animal War Training nearly completed. And, well, there goes Vampiric Aura for the Goblin Tinker. Most likely an item that will just be sold. 3 Dragonhawk Riders out onto the field. You see 3 Crypt Fiends, 2 Obsidian Statues. We are going into Cloud and Griffins as well. So this is going to be going straight into an air strategy. I don't see weapons upgrades anywhere. So what is the long-term strategy by Infi? All right, long-term strategy may just be, you know what? I'm going to throw down a Clockwork Goblin Staff of Teleportation out, and this is going to do a little bit of damage. That Pocket Factory has heavy armor now as opposed to medium, so it takes a little bit more damage there. Meanwhile, Goblin Tinker back off to the north, clearing out some more difficult creep camps. You can see a Griffin Rider. Well, Goblin Tinker should pick up that Tome of Intelligence, now up to level 5. Or now staying at level 5. Death Knight is at 4. Lich is at 2. I don't see a third hero, and is the strategy really to just get the Goblin Tinker to level 6 and have magic immune, or nearly magic immune, a mechanical hero? Death Coil, Frost Nova, both cannot be cast onto the Goblin Tinker. That Goblin Tinker, oh, Ring of Protection +4, as you see, and what? Death Knight, now the Goblin Tinker trying to get away, able to do exactly that as the units now hide back off to the north. Let's take a look at this. Well, there is, 3 Crypt Fiends right here. These units are trying to double back around. They're going to purposely heal back at this Fountain of Health once more as the Death Knight now switches back over. All right, Goblin Tinker plus 1 Griffin Rider. Is that enough to take down a Red Drake? Well, whoever has the Fountain of Health really is the winning one in that particular battle, as low hit points units stay back at the Fountain of Health for just a little while longer. All right, Cloud right here on this Nerubian tower, coupled with, well, an air bombardment, and that Goblin Tinker has his eyes on level 6. He's going to be trying to figure out how to take down all of these ghouls here. There's the Pocket Factory Footman now with the Fen. There's Cloud. Cloud was not cast onto the Black Citadel. Black Citadel able to still deal a little bit of damage. You can see a Scroll of Town Portal now coming across here as all the units now trying to perhaps back out. Crypt Fiends now using Web. Let's take a look. Well, Dreadlord is out onto the field. Footman with the Fen trying to finish off some of those units again as all the units are channeling back away. An additional Clockwork Goblin has made its way out. It is doing a little bit of damage over time here. Dreadlord, actually, I believe the Pocket Factory actually gives a little bit of experience as more and more units are purposely just dying right next to this Citadel and dealing a good amount of damage while we're at it here, as the Black Citadel could end up getting taken down just by what is going on here. All right, let's take a look at this. What's going on is the Destroyer going to be able to focus this down. This is a crazy strategy, as the Pocket Factory here will end up getting destroyed. LabyRinth is just playing a game of response right now. He's not quite sure how to react to this particular strategy. You can take a look, Staff of Teleportation, as the Goblin Tinker is now out, gonna be battling up against that Lich. All right, who's gonna end up winning this particular battle? Lich does have Orb of Corruption. He's gonna actually be able to deal a lot of damage here. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends are out onto the field. Peasants are one at a time getting taken down. There's Clockwork Goblins as well, as the Crypt Fiends may end up destroying all of these here. All right, Militia now making their rounds back out. Let's take a look what's going on. The Goblin Tinker is in a bit of trouble. The guard towers, are they actually going to be able to get undone? Sleep onto the Goblin Tinker. Goblin Tinker is now asleep at the wheel as the Goblin Tinker now tries to get away. Meanwhile, the main base, Cloud once again being cast, going to be going after all of these, all of these acolytes once more. There goes one. Meanwhile, the main battle guard towers are here up, trying to fight back against all of these units. The destroyers could end up getting taken down. Death Knight, while not paying attention, ends up losing one destroyer, and that is a unit that you cannot afford to lose. Meanwhile, all the acolytes getting taken down here. The Cloud working extremely well to, stop any of that stationary defense, as we're taking a look at Acolyte after Acolyte getting destroyed. All right, there goes another one as well. Black Citadel not training up any more units. Goblin Tinker off over here, regenerating some, much needed hit points. Crypt Fiend is currently out, shot down a web, as we see another Cloud being brought down here. All right, damage can add back up rather quickly. Let's take a look. Another, web, and now right there. Is it going to take down that Acolyte? No, it is not. There goes that unit. All right, Griffin Riders going after perhaps that Red Drake. Goblin Tinker is right there. No Orb of Fire or anything else to really fight it back here. And we're going to take a look at very effective magic damage to finish off this Red Drake now. Let's take a look. Are we going to see a very powerful item? We should be looking at a powerful item, but in comes the rest of the units. Sobe Mask going to get picked up by the Death Knight and unable to pick up that powerful item indeed, as that is the problem with solo heroes. Solo heroes, you generally run out of room to try and get some additional items. All right, Scroll of Town Portal now heading back. Here we are looking at 44 supply compared to 35. LabyRinth is currently behind in terms of supply. We see 1-0 upgrades on the air units. Meanwhile, Crypt Fiends, 2-1 upgrades, very heavy indeed, as the Tinker wants to make its way out. Are we going to perhaps go into Robo-Goblin? That is the big question next. Goblin Tinker perhaps trying to head back once more. Mountain King, however, could make short work or perhaps do a bit of stun and cause a bit of disruption. Death Knight now making its way back over again. 2 Dragonhawk Riders. Is there a... Yes, there is 1 Crypt Fiend right off over here. 2 Crypt Fiends right here. So any attempt to try and well, do a bit of pressure is going to cause problems. What does this mean, though? The Goblin Tinker can come in from the north, drop a clockwork, a pocket factory, and now there is all of that cloud there as the units are now going to try and engage. All right, let's take a look. Crypt Fiend may end up getting taken down. Are we going to see any heals? That is the question. One Crypt Fiend will go down. Griffin Rider will go down as well. Goblin Tinker now at level 6. Are we going to see Robo-Goblin? Yes, we are, as he is now dealing bonus siege bonus damage to buildings. But however, this entire base is pretty much gone. Sleep will not work. Death Coil will not work. Frost Nova will not work, as this one giant Robo-Goblin able to deal so much damage, unable to even sleep him in order to try to get him, well, out of that tough spot. The Goblin Tinker, 37 plus 16 damage. What is that? That is 53 damage to... was it 53 damage to 59? Yeah, 53 to 59 damage with additional bonus damage to buildings. 44 supply, however, for LabyRinth as Infi starts to fall behind. Now, main gold mines. Let's see what's happening here. We are looking to build an expansion. Shade is spotted across over here. The Goblin Tinker able to move around so quickly. Those treads, well, acting as, and the movement speed acting as a very big problem. He's able to move around so fast and get away from any real damage. On top of this, let's take a look. Goblin Tinker is just, well, running back around, causing more problems indeed. All right, Goblin Tinker now back out. Let's take a look. Additional damage as the Death Knight could end up taking a lot of extra damage here. Meanwhile, let's take a look. A Shade is currently keeping track of this location, allowing the Lich to just constantly put pressure on all of these guard towers. Meanwhile, a Clockwork Goblin's going after all of these units once more. This pocket factory still has plenty of life to go. We may see the Tinker just go straight after some of these buildings now, and so much damage being done to this Altar of Darkness. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Mountain King has to play a very dangerous game. Another Frost Nova across multiple peasants. Peasants getting taken down. Lich gets up to level 4. Let's take a look at this. Canceling all of those upgrades now. But what is happening here with the Goblin Tinker? That Robo-Goblin doing so much damage, dropping pocket factories pretty much everywhere, and is now going after the main infrastructure of the Undead base. Alright, Clockwork Goblins fighting right here. It is in a position where once it dies, it could actually take down multiple units and buildings. Destroyers trying to finish off some of these units here, as the pocket factory is still cranking out some more units. Alright, there goes another crypt building. No more Crypt Fiends unless that is rebuilt. Another rebuilt crypt now coming along its way. Mountain King still sitting at level 1. Knights, Griffins making their way out. However, the Dreadlord shows up to the party. There's a quick ensnare. Ensnare by the Forest Troll Trapper. Unlucky break by Infi. Slaughterhouse is in some major trouble right now, losing some of these precious buildings. You cannot afford to lose these buildings now, as every building is going to matter. Trying to set up another expansion. LabyRinth not going to have an easy time with it. Let's take a look at this. Clockwork Goblin's going to finish off all of these units here. Sacrificial Pit, the last production building left. A crypt needs to be rebuilt. A slaughterhouse needs to be rebuilt. Major buildings lost by the Undead. Goblin Tinker has done a lot of damage, but is still sitting only at level 6 right now. Hasn't really pushed forward, hasn't really gained any extra experience, and that could potentially be a problem. The Tinker does have +7 armor though. Wow, very high armor indeed, making it difficult to take down a hero with, well, 44% damage reduction and also the heroic armor type. 53 supply compared to 46. Mountain King sitting at level 1. Let's take a look at this. Units are now going to try and back away. Meanwhile, are we perhaps going to get some repairs onto that guard tower? Crypt Fiends is right here. Guard tower number 1 quickly taken down, as the Mountain King and all those units are now back again. All right, if it's not going to work, might as well just try and straight up engage. Crypt Fiend's going to try and, well, web down a handful of units. Let's take a look at this. Crypt about to get taken down. Scroll of Town Portal to teleport all the way back home, and it looks as though, yes, all the units are back home, deep inside enemy lines. Carrion Swarm eating through so many of those units. Let's take a look. Crypt Fiend's getting taken down. So many units lost on both sides, as Web blocking the path out, or nope, apparently Griffin Riders have still very low collision radiuses, or collision radii. All right, healing back up here at the Fountain of Health. No Archmage, no priests to be seen in this human versus undead matchup. Goblin Tinker has done a fair bit of damage, but will he actually be able to get the victory here? 53 supply compared to 47. Scout Tower is getting completed once more. No sentry ward, since we don't have an arcane sanctum, as the knights are once again on the move. Knights are 2-1 upgraded. Meanwhile, griffins are 2-0 upgraded. They do not share an armor type, they share a weapon type, as the Lich about to move on out. All right, Goblin Tinker making its way back down. Low on mana. Let's take a look back across here. Mountain King, Griffins here, ready to go. Knights. That is going to be the real difference here, being able to take down some of these Crypt Fiends, as the Robo-Goblin is once again back out onto the field. All right, going after the slaughterhouse, or going after some of these key buildings here. Crypt Fiends could end up getting taken down. There goes the sacrificial pit, as the slaughterhouse is going to end up getting taken out as well. More of these clockwork goblins are making their way out. Meanwhile, Lich try and make its way through, push through. Big Frost Nova across multiple units. Carry on Swarm finishes off even more units, as only one peasant is left. Back down here, Knights pushing and engaging. Mountain King now finally at level 2. We're going to see perhaps the death of a slaughterhouse. Two more shots. Mountain King is right there. Mountain King, Stormbolt, no Thunderclap. Thunderclap would have been absolutely perfect right there, as another Knight gets taken down. Clockwork Goblins coming in to engage. Crypt Fiends, well, right up against those Knights. That is not where you want them to be, and they are getting taken out very quickly. Mountain King unable to finish off that Dreadlord, as he gets a big heal, but, well, second time around, not as much luck, as we're taking a look at more Clockwork Goblins just, well, making their way back out and dealing so much damage to unsuspecting units. All right, Griffin Rider now taken down here. More Clockwork Goblins trying to finish off a handful of units. Are they going to perhaps detonate onto all of these units again? What, 80 damage? More Clockwork Goblins making their rounds back out, as the Mountain King with Knights is healing once more. All right. Tinker checks. There is no expansion over here. Shade keeping track of all of that. Lich, or excuse me, Dreadlord, hired back up. Lich sitting at level 4. Death Knight needs an obsidian statue, but does not have a slaughterhouse at this point and stage in the game. All right, big Frost Nova, Death Coil onto the Lich, saves it. Knights going after the Crypt Fiends, finishes it off. Mountain King now trying to get away. Will it be able to get away? Big Frost Nova could be coming in, as there it goes. Mountain King does get taken down. Meanwhile, Goblin Tinker trying to come back through the other way. It looks as though, yes, there goes that Crypt Fiend, that giant mallet, squashing that bug like it was nothing. All right, Lich in serious trouble. Clockwork Goblin, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used in order to try and get away. No easy way to get around. However, the Tinker is very fast and moving around so quickly. The Dreadlord could have a problem. Let's take a look. Are we going to perhaps see that Dreadlord get caught in a tough spot? That giant hammer looks like it should actually stun a unit when it hits. Meanwhile, let's take a look back across here. Lich now up to level 5. Mountain King still not making its way back out as of yet, as the, well, Tinker just rolling on through. Lich sitting at level 5. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 6. Trying to push their way through right here. Death Knight doubling back around. The Knights are just moving around so fast, and this could potentially be a problem, as the movement speed of the heroes is just far too much. Lich trying to head back around, and is it going to end up getting stuck right here? Goblin Shredder also joining in on the fight. There's a big Frost Nova, Death Coil, as wow, that was a beautiful move by LabyRinth, LabyRinth, in order to take down a Knight, in order to stop the potential surround, as we're now looking at the, well, Mountain King making its way back out. Mountain King could be coming across. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich is going to be pretty much surrounded in an instant. Death Knight, Staff of Teleportation, isn't going to be able to make its way back out. Yes, it will. Mountain King, not enough mana to stun down the Death Knight. Death Knight also has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability as he tries to get away. 39 supply compared to 32. Destroyer going straight after a Knight. The Knight is perhaps going to try and just hang out over here by a Fountain of Health, as the Tinker is rolling on down the map. All right, Lich extremely low on hit points, unsummoning some buildings, getting up a slaughterhouse. Gold is difficult to come by. Let's take a look at this, as the Tinker wants to finish off the Lich, unable to do so. Death Knight with a 600 hit point heal. All right, let's take a look. 475. All right, this will eventually die. Blood Mage now out onto the field. Blood Mage could potentially do a large bit of damage as well. Mountain King shows up to the party. Who is going to end up coming out ahead? Lich is here as well. We could be looking at a Stormbolt. No, Death Coil Frost Nova from the Lich finishes off the unit. Infi with this rather cute strategy, but now definitely paying for it, unable to really get the necessary pickoffs that he needs. Meanwhile, back down across over here, Clockwork Goblins still detonating themselves onto these ghouls, causing major problems. It is 3 heroes to 3 heroes. Stormbolt, Wanda Mana Stealing, Blood Mage, now very low on hit points, trying to get away down to 60 hit points. Looks like it will be able to live and fight another day. Meanwhile, Lich ends up getting caught between a Knight and the Tinker, as we're taking a look at that Knight who will end up getting taken down at the hands of a Crypt Fiend. Death Knight in trouble, is going to be able to back away. Oh, it turns back around. It looks as though the Dreadlord could end up getting taken down. There goes a Crypt Fiend instead. Mountain King now up to level 3, has enough mana. We could be perhaps going for another Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. There it goes, as the Tinker now at level 7. Level 7 Tinker, level 3 Knight, level 1 Blood Mage, healing over here at the Fountain of Health. Tinker, if it had mana, would just cause some serious problems again. We could be looking at perhaps another Pocket Factory here. LabyRinth being forced to unsummon buildings. And, well, when buildings are what you need in order to survive, that is not good news. All right, Goblin Tinker. There's another Pocket Factory right there. More damage. Black Citadel will get taken down. We are going to end up having a reveal. A Goblin Tinker first, dealing so much damage as the Goblin Tinkers, these Clockwork Goblins, well, when they die, either to timed life or loss of hit points, deal damage too. You can take a look at this. If they just try to go after the Tomb of Relics or anything else here, that could cause some major problems. Mountain King now in serious trouble. Goblin Tinker trying to offer a little bit of support here. Death Knight, Blood Mage. All right, are we going to see siphon mana away from those units again as the Mountain King falls at level 3? All right, units are trying to get away once more. Goblin Tinker says, you know what? I can just try and win with a flat-out base win if you are not going to deal with my Tinker. Tinker getting that last shot off right there. We are 391 hit points. Well, 2 more shots. One more shot here, and that, well, wait, where is the, nope, sorry, another Ziggurat down over here. The Goblin Tinker with its high armor. No more gold, not even trying to bother to repair. And there you go. LabyRinth is defeated by base death. And Infi wins the game with the lower score. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.